this morning, Mr. Peter Obi, through Dironi Fade, has asked us to issue a statement that when he traveled to London during Easter on Good Friday, that he was more or less detained at the airport because somebody had been using his identity. Okay, and the statement by Dironi Fade pointed out that this is part of the harassment, intimidation that Mr. Peter Obi has been subjected to, including impersonation in the United Kingdom, in a country where he had lived. So he shouldn't, people should not go to extreme situations.
Hi guys, it don't read for social media. Hoodlums has come out with another plan to bring Peter Obi down, but it can never work. Someone is impersonating Peter Obi identity, using it to travel around the globe. Guys, Peter Obi traveled on Friday and he was detained at airport because someone is using his identity already. This is another planned deal and it is not good for Peter Obi, but we know those behind this evil act and it is not going to work for them. Finally, APC has responded to the petition Peter Obi and other political parties wrote against them concerning the 2023 presidential election, and INEC has come out to talk wetin full his mouth again after all he did to rig this 2023 election. He has come out to say that Peter Obi and Labour Party has no chance to win this case in the court. Guys, let's watch and see how this INEC drama will end. Watch this video, guys, and don't forget to share your thought with us.
Well, Dr. Bati, INEC has responded to the petitions made by parties to the Election Tribunal, and of course yesterday on prime time we had Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie on the show with her comments there. Your thoughts on this?
Okay, a basic principle in any legal matter is that you must hear the other side for purpose of justice, balance, equity, and the principle is called audi alteram partem. You must hear the other side. So it is to be expected that INEC, having been joined as a respondent in the petition by the Labour Party, and Mr. Peter Obi will file its own response. And it's not only INEC that has filed a response. The APC and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of that party, declared president-elect, also filed a response to that petition. But the one that you introduced is the response of INEC. And INEC, through Mahmood SAN, its counsel, in responding, has said that, look, the prayers, the reliefs sought by the Labour Party should not be granted by the court, to the extent that they are, in the view of INEC, nebulous, anachronistic, academic, vague, ungrantable, unsustainable, very robust, very, long delivery of adjectives there coming from Mahmood SAN in the response. And what are these, grounds of petition by the Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi? One, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not validly elected, and did not have the majority number of votes cast in that election conducted on February 25. Two, that Shetima, is, running mate, had a double nomination, one for a senatorial seat and then the other one for the presidential race, which would seem to be a violation, or which is, a violation of the Electoral Act. Three, that the election was marred by rigging and manipulations. Four, that INEC did not follow its own regulations and guidelines, and that INEC ended up, in fact, violating its own enabling laws and even the Constitution. And to that extent, Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi had argued in their petition that, the election was not properly conducted. What was the relief sought? The relief sought was that, Mr. Peter Obi and the Labour Party should be declared winner of that particular election. So INEC now says, look, Labour Party has no case to present. And that's one of the reasons that Mahmood SAN was pointing out, is that Labour Party did not even have enough polling agents, that there was a shortfall in terms of the polling agents provided in all the 176,846 polling units, that Labour Party didn't live up to expectation by over 41 polling agents. And therefore, that the Labour Party cannot complain about representation, and that in any case, Mr. Peter Obi cannot claim to have won that election because INEC points out in its response, he doesn't have, 1/4 of the votes in 2/3 of the states, and he did not even get the majority of the votes. So, but it's for the, tribunal to look at this response against the, petition and the relief sought by the petitioners, in this case, Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi. And I refer to the response by the APC. The APC has also responded. And the APC, in their own response, just saying basically that, in fact, Mr. Peter Obi was not even a candidate in that election. And that therefore, he has no grounds to even raise a protest. And their point is that it's with reference to Section 77 of the Electoral Act, 77, 1, 2, 3. And that Mr. Peter Obi, as of the time he joined the Labour Party on May 27 and became the candidate of that party on May 30, he was already, he was still a member of the People's Democratic Party, and that you cannot be in two places at the same time. That would be a violation of Section 77(3) of the Electoral Act, which requires political parties to submit membership register to INEC 30 days before their primaries and conventions. So a technical point there, but again, it's for the tribunal to look at that. APC also argues further that Mr. Peter Obi and the Labour Party had complained about a certain $460,000 that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu paid in a case of dishonesty in the U.S. District Court. Of course, they dismissed that again. That's fiction. But that's another issue that we argued. Was the candidate within the purview of Section 131, qualified to have been in that election? They will raise all kinds of points about time. They will raise all kinds of points about whether, in fact, an indictment amounts to a conviction. And by time, I'm talking about the 10-year rule, which they also have in certain jurisdictions in the U.S. Finally, the APC, responding to Mr. Peter Obi and Labour Party, says that the PDP was not joined. PDP and Atiku were not joined in the petition by the Labour Party, and that these are two major parties that could be affected by the outcome. So, two sides of the story. It's now for the tribunal to go into the matter, and if it goes all the way to the Supreme Court. But what we will just appeal to all the parties involved is that all of them should be committed to the rule of law, and that the febrile rhetoric that has overtaken the airwaves and the public space, should be toned down, and the leadership of the various political parties should also call their people to order. Because we've seen a lot of, surprising things, shocking things, let me say. Maybe not surprising. Nigerians no longer surprise anybody. They're capable of anything. Because even this morning, Mr. Peter Obi, through Dirone Fade, has asked us to issue a statement that when he traveled to London during Easter on Good Friday, that he was more or less detained at the airport because somebody had been using his identity. Okay, and the statement by Dirone Fade pointed out that this is part of the harassment, intimidation that, Mr. Peter Obi has been subjected to, including impersonation in the United Kingdom, in a country where he had lived. So he shouldn't, people should not go to extreme situations.